Media is something we cannot live without, but recently it's been taken in many forms, and it's because of Generation Z and young people. And today, we've invited two young people, one from Asia, from Europe, to share a little bit more about influence of young people in media. So say hello to the camera.
Hi.
And do you want to introduce yourself? Why don't you go first?
I'm Erika. I'm the tech chief editor for an online magazine called Tech Princess. It's an Italian magazine, and we cover tech in all of its form.
Tech Princesses, I love the name.
Yes, because when we started the company, we were all women writing, and then we received a lot of requests from male editors, and now we are a company with both the genders.
Love to dive much deeper into this very soon. Why don't you introduce yourself? Yep.
My name is Ganit Nut, and I've been working as news translator for InfoQuest news agencies for 11 years now.
So both of you work in media, but both of you are not from China, but you're in China right now. Is it your first time in China?
No, it's my fourth time.
It's your fourth time, and is it your first time in China?
It's my first time in China and in Asia in general.
Oh wow, well, welcome to Asia, welcome to China.
Thank you.
Let's go to you first, and then I'll come to you.
Okay.
Your first time in China and Asia, what's your impression? Is that what you expect?
No. Absolutely no. I was really surprised.
Hopefully in a good way, but
yes, absolutely.
but you're free to share.
I was so surprised because we talk a lot about Chinese technology in my company, but I didn't know so much about Chinese culture, so it was really interesting, and I was so impressed by the smart city you are building. You are literally building a new city, and it's amazing to see the process. So I think it's one of the best trips of my life.
Maybe one of the things that surprised or shocked you the most?
Application you use all the time, like WeChat or Alipay. We don't have anything like that in Europe. I think Elon Musk wants to build something for Western world like that, starting from X, but we don't have anything like that. And in many parts of Italy, we still use cash, and credit cards are difficult to use too. And you use just application for everything. So this
mobile
is
application,
amazing.
cashless society, and you also mentioned smart cities.
Yes.
There's so many different aspects. Have you tried share bikes or food delivery, which is very convenient?
No, I try to use Didi for take a taxi.
Yeah.
But that's all I have done so far.
Well, welcome back to China and try the digital life a little bit more. So it's the fourth time in China. What cities have you been to?
I've been to Chengdu. I've
Chengdu?
been to Hefei.
Hefei.
And some cities in Taiwan.
Yeah, in Taiwan.
Now I'm here.
Now in Beijing, 4 different cities.
Beijing, Shenyang, and Xiong'an.
So for someone who have just been to Asia, share some of the differences in different. How will you introduce those cities to a foreign friend?
It's very modern. They can just live here comfortably.
Yeah.
It's more advanced here.
It's more modernized in some way. Like what aspect?
Every aspect.
Yeah. Okay.
Like trains, payment system, especially payment system, because we do have QR code payment, but the process takes a very long time. And in China, it just you only have to produce one QR code and it's gone, it's done.
Really representing time is money, right? So you mentioned train. Have you guys tried, the mode of transportation, like high-speed train? Have you been on a high-speed train before?
Yes, just this time.
Just this time, the first time as well?
Yes, from Beijing to Shenyang.
Beijing to Shenyang.
I hope that we have this in Thailand too.
Okay, and I think through the Belt and Road Initiative, I think there's some upcoming railway infrastructure building, right?
In Thailand, yes.
Yes. So that's great. And welcome to China and welcome again back to China. Let's dive into today's topic. Both of you work in media. I wonder, like in Thailand or in Asia or in Italy or in Europe, do young people care about what's happening in the news? Obviously, both of you work in a media. You would have incentive to say yes. But do you think this is the overall impression? Do people really follow the news? Do you want to start first?
Yes, but we do that on social medias because it makes
How
things
is it
a lot.
different? Because both of you work in sort of more the digital space, right? How is following news on social media comparing to, for example, the paper and traditional media different?
You can just put on your phone and you can check it everywhere on the go, and it's more convenient.
It's more convenient. Does it mean you work in the media? Does it mean you have more pressure to update the news more frequently as well?
We are always fast, so
Yeah.
that's not the problem for us. We are 100% online.
Yeah, fast, 100% online is very, very important. And from what I'm hearing is that young people want to have the news in their hands almost. So going to Tech Princess. So can you tell me a little bit more about Italian youth? Do they follow the news frequently? In what form do they follow the news?
I think we don't read so much newspaper anymore.
Oh,
we
okay.
prefer online media because it's more convenient. But there's not so much interest in the news anymore.
Okay.
I think there are too many information, and if have some, I don't know, they are not so involved in politics. They feel the distance, so they prefer not to read
How about
anything
tech?
about it. About tech,
There's always something new going on in tech, right?
it depends,
Yep.
because there are people really fond of technology and they read everything you write and they watch everything you produce on social media, and there are people that are not so into tech, even if they are so young and they are already used to digital world. So I think it depends on one individual.
So you mentioned something interesting, because news online, meaning there's more choices, there's more information. So there's two aspects. One is how do then people make choices on what to read, because there's so much information out there. You don't know sometimes. They're not from authority anymore, because I think a lot of people think of traditional, and whatever you print on the media, people take it as factual sometimes, right? In digital media, do you face some of the challenges as well?
Yes, it's real. I think that we have two different ways of choosing what to read. The first one is you just go on a search engine, Google usually, and search what you want to read, and you just choose the first thing that came up. Or you are really a fan of a newspaper or online magazine and you read mostly that newspaper. And I think things are going to be really difficult in the next few years because of artificial intelligence, because right now Google will kind of sum up information for you and you don't have to click on this single article anymore, and so it will be a tough time for media.
So in this way, is then, online news, is it more open or more closed? Because AI are kind of recommending news that they think you like or you want to see, right? And a lot of times it means, the readers are more segmented in different ways. What do you think about this?
I think it's kind of dangerous because if you start reading only things that AI suggests you, you will read only things with the same topic, the same angles. What you have to do, what we need to do, is doing an effort. You have to write things on other newspaper. You have to actively search for other news. Otherwise, you won't have the complete information about what is going on in the world.
So you obviously work in the media. You are very well informed about the landscape. How about the general population? Do you feel they understand the same as well? Because what I'm hearing is that you need to have a diverse sources of information in order to have a complete picture. But a lot of times in social media, it doesn't really happen that way.
I think that's why you have to do an effort, because if you only use social media or only read one newspaper with one angle usually, you don't understand what it's really going on in the world. So you have to actively try to open your mind and find new resources. I think.
So I'm hearing there's responsibility from media organization, but there's also responsibility in the society to promote more diverse viewpoint as well.
Absolutely.
And so I want to come to you very quick. Do people, for example, from Thailand are concerned about international news, something that happened abroad?
Yes,
Yeah.
we follow these news on social media. Like now, it's like
Technologies like gadgets, new gadgets, green energies, things that really impact their lives.
So people in Thailand, they have this incentive to understand more happening in the international world. What we spoke about AI, is that something that concerns you? Is it something that brings challenges to your work?
Yes, it directly impact my career as a translator. And we have this package of Claude AI, and we are told to use it to make our work faster, to more efficient. Yes.
Do you think it's a compromise on quality? I think this is what I want to ask.
We always have to intervene.
Yeah.
So we cannot let
So
it go without
you're not letting
supervision.
AI to replace your job, but you're working with AI to make your job more efficient.
Yes, use it as a tool.
So with the changing landscape of media, I wonder how do you see youth readers? Are they changing their behavior? Do you see they're more interested in one thing than the other? How do you attract youth readers?
For my company, we use TikTok.
Yep.
We set this team dedicatedly for TikTok videos.
Okay.
And
So short form video is very, very critical
yes,
for you to engage with young people. Right?
yes, because they
Is
have
it the
short
same with
attention.
Tech Princess?
I think there are 3 different trends right now in Italy. The first one is short videos. Absolutely, we have to make short videos on Instagram and TikTok to attract new people. I think people in general, not just the younger. And
You never have enough time.
no, but surprisingly, the other trend is about long format. So if you do a video on YouTube and it's like 10 minutes, it's not going well. If you do a video of like 20 minutes, because you are explaining really well the topic, they will watch it.
Give me an example that you think it will work well in long form and some example that work well in shorter form.
I think that if you have to explain something like, I don't know, when we do trip like this, I usually make a vlog for YouTube, and if the vlog lasts like 30 minutes, they will watch it because it's a deep dive in the trip you did, and they want to know more. But if you have to explain one single product and you do a review on YouTube, 5-6 minutes review, I don't know if they will watch it. Maybe they will if they are really interested on buy the product. But if you do a short review, 60 seconds, they
just to highlight the key issues.
And maybe they will search for more later, but you have to engage them with short videos before
and
they...
multiple short videos as well, I assume.
Exactly.
Breaking down the information bite size.
Exactly.
So you mentioned the 3 things. One is short video, one is longer video, and what's the third thing?
Podcast.
Podcasts.
Yes. In Italy, we are big fans of podcasts nowadays, and we listen to them in the car, in the train, in the subway, everywhere. And we have a lot of them. We have awards for podcasts.
Why? I want to understand why is I also understand podcast is increasingly popular. Is it among young people or in general?
In general.
In general, why? Why do you think there's a rise of podcasts? Because for me, you're taking away one of the way to receive information, right? Because it's no longer visual, it's only voice.
Yes, but if you are in the car, you can't watch with. You shouldn't watch while you're driving, but you can listen.
Yep.
And that's how it starts. And if you are on public transportation, it's
In transit.
yes, and you have to change the subway, something like that. You just have to listen. We use a lot of wireless earpods, so I think it's one of the main trends, and because of that, podcast. We have companies that now make only podcasts, and
Does your company do podcasts as well?
yes.
Yeah.
We have a podcast, a long form podcast called in Italy is Le Vie del Tech, that means tech ways, basically, and it's about talk about tech, about scenarios and not just the single products. So we talk about tech in China, tech in Korea, tech and space, and with experts. And the quality of podcast is getting higher and higher, and it's more engaging to listen right now. So I think this is why they're so popular right now.
So is podcast popular in Asia? Is popular in Thailand?
Yes, in Thailand we have this news agency called The Standard. They have a lot of podcasts, and it's so successful that they just hosted an event bringing podcasters to relay the message.
How about the longer form video that was suggested? Is that something popular as well?
In my company, yes, we also have YouTube videos and TikTok videos, but the content are different.
Tell me more. How is it different?
In TikTok video, it's just general news, bite size, and in YouTube videos, it's mostly about digital currencies because this is
Something
one of the
that
things.
take a little bit more time to explain, right?
Yes, because it's one of the things young people really care about, digital cryptocurrencies.
Cryptocurrency, right? Very interesting. So, right at the very beginning, you talk about Tech Princess.
Yes.
Started from, group of female. Tech and female, usually they're not necessarily associated in a stereotype manner. Is this still the case in Europe, in Italy, or from what you see?
It was the case when we started. That's why we started, because we don't like. I don't know. I think we just wanted to break the stereotype of women and technology, and give women space to talk about technologies and video games and automotive and things that usually are not related to women. And I think it's changing, but the stereotype is still there.
So you mentioned you run podcasts that you talk about tech in different countries, right?
Yes.
So I want to bring to the next topic is that how is tech covered differently, or how is tech different, for example, between your home country and what you have seen in China so far?
You have, I think, better payment systems because of the application we talked before, but in many ways there are the same way we talk about gadgets we use, devices we use. I think the difference is about the smart city part, and I don't know if we are going to see any smart city in Italy.
Tell me more, because you're very excited about the idea of smart city at the beginning.
I'd love to. I love smart city. But
what makes smart city smart for you? And then I want to come to you very quickly, because I know Chiang Mai is also building itself with a lot of technology startup in Chiang Mai as well, right? One of the city in Thailand. So smart city, what is smart in smart city for you? What qualifies it as smart city?
I think the heavy use of technology, not just in the daily life, but to build the city itself. like planning the, I don't know, energy resources or something like this. This will make a smart city, transportation, something like this.
So smart city is not just individual using tech, but also there's an organized way to make data and technology connected.
Exactly.
Within the city, right?
Yes.
That's very interesting. How about in Thailand? Because I was recently in Chiang Mai, I saw there's so many tech startups in Chiang Mai, right? Is smart city something that Thailand is also building as well?
Yes, it's all about using technology to make our lives better in all aspects, like digital payment, for example, and like, what do I call e-government?
Yep.
You use technology to make
E-government
services.
is something that is coming up in Europe as well, right? I think I heard some discussion about e-government.
There are countries that are trying to
Experiment with this idea.
Yes, exactly. But I don't think it will happen in Italy very soon.
Yeah. Sorry. You talk about e-government. Tell me a little bit more. Why are you excited? Why are young people excited about this?
We have this app to book for slots, like having driver license, ID cards, and e-government services, other e-government services. So we don't have to wait in line, and that is very convenient.
So digitalization of some of the governmental services usually can take quite a bit of time and processes.
Yes.
So I want to come to the end of the topic. I want to talk about the role of government and media to facilitate a more open ecosystem or more innovative ecosystem. We talk about e-government, there's some experiment that's happening in Europe, but Europe is also known to have a lot of different regulation and respecting different aspects of rights, etc. Do you think this will hinder innovation? How can you facilitate a more innovative environment?
It's a tough question,
Yes.
first of all. Thank you. It's really difficult. I don't think that media can do something about this, because you can talk about it, but I think the government must play the bigger part here. You have to try to get young people involved in the process. You have to motivate young people. Otherwise, it's very difficult to have a more innovative country, I think.
Yeah, and you, what are your views on it? What are some of the role of government and media can facilitate a more innovative environment?
They have to use social media. They will have to be transparent to build trust. They will need to give us some incentives like grants and programs like currently attending. And I think they will have to cooperate with youth organizations to make the content relevant.
Those are all very, very important traits of an innovative environment. Both of you mentioned government, but I wonder, youth, what is the role of youth then? Because a lot of times it's easy for something not to work and blame the government. But sometimes, we need to live with the consequences as young people. What can young people then do to facilitate this process or to accelerate this process?
You would just have to be smart.
To be more informed, to be smart?
I think you have to try to be more involved, because it's true that there's a distance between young people and the government, but I don't think the government has to do all the work here. I think if you're a young person, you have to try to do something and build the bridge between you and the government.
So to be informed, to see a little bit more from different perspectives as well, to learn from different experiences, but more importantly, is to be involved, is to engage throughout this whole entire process.
You have to try. At least you have to try.
and this is a never-ending discussion and dialogue. And thank you so much for both of your insights and input into this topic. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.